paycheck. That's that shut up money. This is our Saturday live Zoom shut up money show. So we want you to ask questions. We want you to learn and grow. This is not about me. It's all about you. Thank you for joining us here Saturday morning. If you want to participate in the Q&A, please do so by visiting www.zoomjustin.com. That's zoomjustin.com. Of course, if you want to find out more information about Real Estate Wholesalers Club or get some free training and agreements and get started, you can do that at realestatewholesalersclub.com. But we'd love to have you right here in the Zoom room with us. We do have a special agenda today, a special guest, somebody that is really going to drop some knowledge bombs on us. We're going to grow today, guys. This is a weak spot for me. Some of you out there are like, oh, what? He doesn't know everything? I know. Yeah, I don't know everything. No, not even close. So I've got a special guest here. It's somebody that I just recently saw come into the Facebook group, which is pretty active. And I knew right away that this guy was special and that I needed to chat with him. And lo and behold, he sent me a message. And so the conversation began a little bit. And I'm very interested in what this gentleman does. If you are out there in the real estate wholesaler world and you are calling leads, if you remember, I always talk about the two mountain peaks. There's the mountain peak of getting leads that you have to climb, right? Which is not really even much of a mountain anymore. I'd call it a hill. Okay. And then you have to close those leads by making phone calls, having conversations, building rapport, getting information, qualifying or disqualifying the homeowner. Now let's talk about that. Qualifying the homeowner. We do know how to qualify homeowners for cash money offers, discounted ugly house deals. We talk about that all the time here. We also talk about pretty houses that have no equity and the homeowner needs payment relief. And we'll do lease options or a creative offer there. But what do we do with the ones that fall in the middle? The ones that slip through our fingers. And the ones I'm talking about are the ones that you call and you find out that they're in pre-foreclosure. They're in default. They're not making payments on time to the bank. And from there, what do you do? Because the clock is ticking, right? And the foreclosure date is a coming and the numbers ain't working right. The numbers aren't looking right. We walk away. We wash our hands, don't we? Because that's not a deal. Well, it wasn't a deal. All right. But it is a deal now. Let me introduce to you our guest today. His name is Bobby Vieira. He is the founder of Universal Short Sales, which is a start to finish short sale processing company. I'll let him explain a little bit more about that. And they do have an arrangement to work with wholesalers like you and I to get money in our pockets on some of these deals we can't do diddly with. All right, guys. It'll allow you to profit from deals that you would normally not be profiting. www.universalshortsales.com. Write that down. Check it out right after the show today. Bob Vieira, welcome.
Thank you, Justin. Thanks for having me. Happy to be here. What's going on, everybody? Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Everybody out there, feel free to unmute your microphones. Let's make this an interactive time today. You're in the Zoom room. We've got a good group here already, and there'll be more come in as we start talking. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, thank you, but please, let's just interact. You got questions for Bob? Do that. But I've got a question for Bob. I could start out.
Shoot.
I'll break the ice. Bob, tell us, what is really a short sale? You own and you founded a short sale processing company. Tell us what exactly is a short sale and what got you involved and started in doing this short sale thing instead of maybe a host of other possible techniques that you could have done.
Yeah, so I'll start with the first part. A short sale is when you come across a homeowner and the balance of their mortgage, so the mortgage balance they owe the bank, the total amount, exceeds the as is value of their house. And in that situation, the lender, in an approved short sale, lets them sell for the as is value. And that difference, right, the difference that they would typically have to pay the bank at settlement, that just gets wiped away clean, and they don't have to write a check to the bank at settlement. So let me just give you an example, right? Let's say you come across a homeowner and the as is value of their house is like 70 grand, right? You know, you're a wholesaler, you could flip it to a cash buyer for 70 grand all day. However, the mortgage balance is, let's say, $100,000. In that situation, Justin, they're what's called an underwater homeowner, because their mortgage balance of 100,000 is exceeding the as-is value of the house of 70,000. So what happens is, assuming the short sale gets approved, the bank wipes away that $30,000 deficiency, the difference between the 100 and the 70. The bank is going to wipe that away. They're going to forgive that debt. Now, the homeowner still has to pay taxes on it, but that's a totally different story, different subject. But they're able to just walk away without paying the bank anything at settlement.
Wow, that's great. And they don't have a foreclosure on their record, right?
Correct. That's actually one of the most important benefits, is there is no foreclosure. I'm pretty sure on the credit report, it just gets reported as debt settled for less than owed, which is great when you're trying to get a new loan, a couple of years down the road.
Yeah, absolutely. What is it for somebody that goes through foreclosure? They're put off from buying a home for how many years?
Well, that varies really on what their credit score is in the beginning, but on average, it could be like 5 to 7 years, sometimes even 10. It's a long time, man. It's really bad to have on the record. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Well, how did you get involved in doing this? We're all real estate wholesalers here, and some of us are more familiar with short sales than others. Like I admitted, I'm not vastly familiar with it, but
yeah.
What was it about it that sparked for you that got you involved in this?
I started in real estate about 5 years ago, full time. I just dove right in as a real estate agent in the Philadelphia, PA market. Just like any new agent, I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off, literally taking any kind of listing I could find just to strum up some business. It just so happens, because I was taking literally anything, a ton of them became short sales. There was probably like my first 3 or 4 in my second year were short sales. So I had no clue what I was doing. Didn't even know what the hell a short sale was in the beginning. And I just learned it just through trial and error, making mistakes, etc. But what I learned, Justin, from doing so many of them is that everyone either A, hates these things and wants nothing to do with them because the process is a nightmare for people, or B, doesn't know how to do them.
Right.
So then at the beginning of last year, I realized I needed to make a change. I was being a generalist. I was like, okay, I'm getting really good at these short sale things, and there's a need for this. This is a niche that, there's a legit need for a short sale expert. So I launched Universal Short Sales at the beginning of last year, just to get niche. And like I said, there's just a need in the market for a short sale expert.
Yeah.
Really.
Guys, check out www.universalshortsales.com. It's a beautiful website, guys, and you'll get more information about him and his process, his company. Pretty fascinating story, really. I'm glad you shared that with us. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
Can you describe to us, you said you were working leads, getting in the real estate game like we all do, and you were running into situations that would be great fits for short sales. Is that right?
Yep, absolutely.
Now that does happen to us, but we don't recognize the opportunity maybe. So describe to us what is the perfect or the typical maybe seller that would be a good fit for a situation like this? Can you talk a little more about that?
Yeah. So in your guys' business specifically, you guys talk to tons of distressed sellers. That's what you do.
Yeah.
So you're going to look for two factors or one of two factors with a distressed seller to see if it's a potential short sale. The first factor is whether or not they're behind on their mortgage payment. So you want to look for mortgage delinquency. That's the first factor.
Mm-hmm.
The second factor.
Wait a minute. What about timing? Okay, because I've called homeowners that were 6 months out, maybe. I've called some that were maybe longer than that. Maybe even 18 months. I mean, sometimes these foreclosures take forever.
Yeah.
And then I've also talked to homeowners that were a week out from the sale date. And can you talk to us about that? Because does that matter, or?
It does matter. That's actually a great question. Yeah. If they're a week out from the sale date, look, anything's possible, but I'm not a miracle worker. You know, I would still try to help the person, but the process to just initiate the short sale, that could take itself up to a week just to get authorized on the account to speak with the lender. So typically if they're like a week out to like 10 days, it's probably too late to stop that sale date. Now, if they're a couple weeks out, like I've done one that was 21 days out, and really that's very, very tight. But if you could get a buyer quickly, it could be done. So to answer your question, it's a case by case basis. But most of the time, if it's like under that 2 week mark, I'd say it's really tough.
Yeah. And in that case, they should just kiss it goodbye, right? Because there's really nothing that you can do.
Well, there's other options. I mean, again, and I'm not an expert in that other stuff. I stick with my niche. It's a straight line short sale expert, but you know, there's deed in lieu sometimes if the bank will offer deed in lieu of foreclosure. There's modification processes. You can modify the mortgage. Typically not that soon though, actually. Like if it's like a week or so out, you probably can't do a mod. You know, there's like a short pay, it's called, which is a totally different thing. But, you know, there are other things. But the best thing a homeowner could do in that situation is honestly, you know, try to hire an attorney last second and try to stop it, really.
Yeah.
Get it postponed.
I see. So these homeowners are in default. And let's assume they're not within, let's say they're a couple months out.
Okay.
From the sale date. Is there anything else that makes these people special, or is that pretty much just it?
What do you mean by special? Like you know, a potential short sale? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Yeah. So the two main factors. The first is mortgage delinquency. Are they behind on their payment? The second one is the property underwater? If you guys remember in the beginning, I was saying, you know, I gave that example about the house that they owe $100,000 to the bank for their mortgage, but it's only worth 70. That's called an underwater property.
I see. And that's because they have penalties and fees and interest on late payments and all that, right? That's why they'd be so underwater.
100% correct. Well, there's several reasons, but the reason the mortgage accumulates so rapidly on them is because they have interest fees, foreclosure fees, attorney fees, you know, all the fees stacking on top of that principal balance. So it just gets out of control on them.
I see. And so when you do a short sale, you're getting permission from the homeowner to work with their lender directly, and you negotiate to have all of those late fees, charges, interest on late pays, or whatever it is that adds up beyond the value of the home. That all gets wiped away. Does any more get wiped away?
So the first part of what you said is correct. The second part, so we're not hopping on the phone with the lender. You know, I'm not on the phone doing like a hardcore negotiation, like, hey, you should drop this charge, that charge. Really, Justin, a short sale is a process. Yeah. And what my company does is we streamline that process from start to finish. Great. Because here's something you have to remember that a lot of people don't realize is you're never going to get on the phone with a lender and do a verbal negotiation to get a short sale done. What the lender does, remember, a lender is not in the property business. They know nothing about real estate values. They don't want to be a landlord, right? That's not their business. They're in the mortgage business. So what they do is they don't know the real estate value of the house. They hire a third-party appraiser right? They're going to hire a third-party appraiser to come out and tell them the value. So I'll go back to my original example with the 70 grand. I'll keep on using that one, right?
Yeah.
Let's say the as-is value is 70. The way the bank is going to determine that 70 grand, again, they know nothing about the house. They're going to hire that third-party appraiser to come out to the property, and that's who's going to appraise it at $70,000.
Right. Okay.
And determine that.
Okay.
Does that make sense the way I'm explaining that?
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It does.
So there's no actual negotiation. You have to, as the processor, we have to package the offer correctly and submit it to the lender correctly. That's our job.
I see. Man, that's cool. You've really enlightened me so far, because I really thought, I swear to God, I thought that you get on the phone and pound it out with some guy in an office somewhere. Yeah. Like, I don't know why. I mean, I've never been a part of one of these. You're going to sell
property for this much. You're in it. Yeah. That's what everybody thinks. Yeah.
But it is really just more of a paperwork process and a know-how, and it's a processing like what you call it. Yeah.
It is 100%. That's why when a lot of people, like I hear, like attorneys and people use all the time the phrase short sale negotiation. But I try to be real careful, Justin, because like I don't want to like steer the customers in the wrong way and have them think that I'm going to get on the phone and it's some hardcore negotiation, like you just said, pounding the table on the phone. Because it's really not that way. It's a process. It's a systemized process to get the deal done.
Yeah, that's great. Great.
Yeah.
So there was a second part to that, and I wanted to catch up on it. What was it? Do you remember?
Was I talking about underwater? I think we were talking about the two factors. Like if you're a wholesaler. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So if you're a wholesaler, right, you're talking to distressed sellers all the time. You're going to come across leads. I'm sure like the people listening are going to think about this like, holy shit, I just, like I noticed a bunch of these in the past. So if one, they're behind on their mortgage, okay, and two, they're underwater. Again, the 70-100 example I gave.
I see.
If you're a wholesaler, obviously you can't assign that contract. It's underwater. There's not enough equity.
Right.
Instead of just taking that lead and passing on it, like I'm sure most wholesalers do, because you can't assign it, right? So you could refer that lead to us if it's a potential short sale, and we could help the homeowner instead of just letting him go and telling him to fend for himself. We could help that homeowner process a short sale.
Yeah.
And then once the short sale is done, we cut the wholesaler a check for $500.
Nice.
Yeah. So you're able to take that lead that's a dead lead, instead of just trashing it, you could refer it and make money. You could profit from it.
Yeah. If you're out there working this, doing deals or trying to do deals, if you're getting leads and you're calling homeowners on a regular basis, my bet is that you're running across at least one or two of these a month. You just didn't know.
Yeah.
So now you do. And this is how you monetize that, guys. You partner up with a guy like Bob that knows the process and will get it done. I cannot be a master of all techniques. That is just not possible for me. And so that's why I wanted Bob to come on today, because this is a piece that's kind of missing here. Like if you want to be a full spectrum wholesaler, you're going to run into these. What do you do with them? Bob, what makes it a deal is that in the example you gave it. Okay, wait a minute. I guess what I'm getting to, and I see Denise here in the chat has a question, and I do not want to neglect to get to that. It's a great question. But what makes it a deal for you after the short sale process is approved and completed, and it's now the bank is happy to get 70,000 instead of the 100 that they were wanting? Who's your buyer? Is it a retail buyer? Is it if you don't mind me asking,
Yeah, no. Yeah. So all right, let me actually back up to answer that. So on every short sale, 95% of short sales, the bank requires it to be listed with an agent on the MLS, because in their head, Justin, think about it. They know they're taking a loss on it and they're okay with it, but they're like, hang on, if we're taking a loss on this thing and we're going to accept less than what you owe us, we want to see that thing listed with an agent on the MLS to make sure we're getting the most possible for it.
Yeah.
So that's most of the lender's methodology. So what we do at Universal is whenever we get a short sale that doesn't have a real estate agent, we just assign an agent. And more times than not, they put it on the market, and that's how we get our end buyer.
Wow. Okay. That makes sense.
Now, to answer your question a little bit more directly, 60 to 70% of the time, these deals are distressed properties. So usually it's an investor that ends up purchasing it anyway.
Yeah.
But we get compensated from the end buyer. Our fee just gets worked in their closing cost, and that's how we get compensated on the deal. I think that's what you're asking too, right?
Yeah. Great. So there's no magic in the example here. There's no magic to the 30%. It's just an arbitrary number we pulled out for an example, correct? Or is there a magic?
No, I just used it randomly.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And I'm asking because, that's kind of like how we calculate the wholesaler ugly house formula is we take 30% off right off the top for our buy. So I didn't want to be confused about that.
No, that works though. There you go.
Yeah.
Good
If the numbers were, let's say it was, they owed 100,000, but it was worth 90. Is that still something worth looking at, Bob? Or
yeah, anything where it's either even or less than the mortgage balance.
Okay.
Automatically qualifies, on the surface at least, for a potential short sale.
I see. That makes sense. And so, just for my knowledge, when these sell on the MLS eventually, once the process is approved and the house is on the MLS and a buyer comes to the table, are they typically going for what the bank wanted, or are they typically going for pretty much like way less, or do you for the end buyer?
Yeah, typically the bank is going to, that's actually another great question. Typically the bank is going to accept either what they appraised it at, remember with the third party appraiser that they use, or a percentage of that appraisal. So like, for example, again, I'll go back to my example. Let's say they appraise it at 70. Some lenders will say, okay, we're going to accept the 70, just get a 70. Other lenders will say, we need like 90%, or like we need to net 88% of, that appraisal value.
Yeah.
But whether they're going to take the appraisal value or a percentage, everything is based off of that number, whatever they appraise it at.
Man, you're getting me excited, dude. Like, I'm like already planning. I'm like, okay, after this is over, I'm going to direct message him and I'm going to ask him if I can look behind the curtain and see how the magic.
You can ask me anything here. I mean, there's no secrets. I'll share whatever questions you guys have,
Gosh, that's great. I got a question here from Denise. It says, if the seller does a short sale, aren't they still responsible to pay the debt on their income tax? Can you talk about this a little bit so we can understand?
That's a great question. Yeah, they are. So, well, okay. First off, I'm not a tax professional, so that's the first disclosure. All right. Sure. There's accountants that could give better in-depth explanations than I can. However, generally speaking, yes, there's going to have to be some tax paid. Not right away at closing. They're going to issue you what's called a 1099-C. That's just for debt. That's just for the deficiency balance. So going back to the original example, the deficiency between the 100 and the 70, that would be 30,000. The bank is forgiving that 30,000. You don't have to come to closing with it, but they may tax you on it. Now, again, not an accountant, but there's definitely ways the seller could get out of that. Right?
Guys, there is a way to get out of that. Trust me.
Yeah, there is. But again, I'm going to stop there. I'll be getting lost. I'll be getting mail after this.
I'm not an accountant either, but if any of you out there listened to my story the other day at the midnight mentoring session, it's I went through some of that personally back in 09, 10 ish, somewhere in there. And there is a 1099-C debt cancellation income statement form that'll come. Yep. And I got out of it, buddy. I did.
There you go. I'll have to direct message you after this. You could teach me some stuff.
Yeah, well, maybe. I'd be happy to share anything I know. But Denise also says, if I get a short sale, am I putting it on a, quote, flippable LLC to transfer to another investor later. She says, I come across a lot of short sales, just sent out a mailing. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So could you ask her, what is her end goal? Is she like, is she looking to close on it? Is she looking to wholesale? What's your end goal, Denise?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, man.
Sorry. Yeah. So I just wanted to know what it is exactly you need from us as wholesalers. Like, I'm a wholesaler. What do you need from me to be able to send these people over to you?
Great question.
Yeah, it's a great question. So what I'll do at the end of this is you're going to put this on Facebook, right?
It's on there right now, man. We're everywhere.
Okay, cool.
We are multi-streaming globally right now. Like,
awesome.
Do you feel the love, Bob? Because
love it. I love it. So what I'll do is I'll put my contact information so you have it. Our process is so simple. So all you'll do is, let's say you have a potential lead that you say, hey, I'm going to send this to Bob. This might be a short sale and I can't do anything with it to wholesale. You just let me know, man. You shoot me a quick email, which I'll give you. All right. And then I have a referral contract that guarantees your payment before a wholesaler sends me anything. I'll just send that referral contract to you through DocuSign. It's a quick couple clicks, it's signed, and then you just send me the info. And then we keep you updated. It's as easy as that.
Nice. Does that make sense, Aiden?
Okay, cool. I got another question too, real quick. Can you give an example of how you would close on a prospect like this over the phone?
Yeah, like from your perspective?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's say you're talking to a prospect and it gets to the point of the conversation where you realize that, okay, this doesn't make sense to wholesale and like I can't personally help this guy, right? Right at that point, you say something like, I can't help you, but a short sale may be your best bet. Have you considered it? Okay. Typically a seller won't be, an expert or know a ton about it.
Right.
So then you could just say, look, if it's something you're interested in, I could put you in touch with my partner or my short sale expert, however you want to put it, as long as you're being transparent. And then you just give them my info. Okay. It's just that simple. Then you just provide me with their info and I send you the referral contract. Already signed by me.
And if it works out, I get $500 from that process?
500 from a dead lead that you were going to throw away. It's
that's
no brainer,
right?
Boom. Yeah. So like the powerful thing is, because that was an awesome question. The powerful thing is if you look at this, not even from a deal by deal basis of like, oh, cool, I get $500. If you think of it like, okay, if I come across these leads for an entire year, think about how many, like, let's say, like you said, Justin, 1 to 2 a month, whatever. You could create a secondary source of income for your business. When you think about it from like the long term working with us, that like it's powerful when you think about it like
that. Yeah.
Not just that. I'm thinking over here, like I got into this business not just to make money, but I realized that there's a lot of people that need these services. And now I can help more people out with this little add-on.
You have it right on the head, man. Instead of just saying sorry, Mr. or Mrs. can't help you, good luck. You could say, hey, I could kick you over. A short sale may work out for you. Because a lot of people don't even know that option because the bank usually sucks at explaining it. So you're right, man. You could still help people. It's awesome.
You mean the bank sucks at explaining that?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Shocking, isn't it?
Man, it's hard to imagine, huh?
Yeah.
That's it. That is
a great question, though.
Super good question, man. Referring to Denise's question, she said she was looking to wholesale this. So that's
okay. So I don't know what strategy you teach specifically in your courses, and I don't want to speak for you. So let me ask you, do you teach assigning or do you guys double close?
We do mostly assigning, but then if we need to, if it's a bank owned property or something like this, and we have to, we teach double assignment here. I mean, double close.
Double close. Okay. Yeah. So to answer Denise's question, I'll break it down. So to assign it is impossible. The bank does not let you assign a wholesale. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you can't assign it and there's just not enough equity. The second half of that, you can double close it theoretically, but you have to be careful because, and like, this is a whole nother section. So like, I don't want to go off on a tangent, but the bank, a lot of times, they're going to put a deed restriction against the property.
What's that mean?
Okay, so what a deed restriction is, and like anyone could do this. Like, okay, let's say I sold you a property, right? I'm selling Justin a property, but I'm going to limit him. Like, I think he's trying to fleece me. So I'm going to say, okay, Justin, I'm going to sell you my house, but you can't, we're going to write in the deed, literally write into the deed. You can't flip this thing. You can't sell it for 90 days. And when you do sell it, yeah, exactly.
That's bullshit, man.
Yeah, exactly. That's what the bank does. Because I'll just give like a real quick history here. What happened was when the financial crash happened, people were making a killing off of double closing short sales because there was a record amount of foreclosures in the country in like 08, 09, 2010.
And that's about to happen again, right, dude?
I don't think it's going to happen as bad, man. I'll be honest. Like, I'm not a doom and gloom guy. Yeah. I don't think it'll happen as bad, but I do think we're in for a correction for sure.
So it's only going to get better, baby.
Yeah.
If you're in this business, right?
Yep. Tons of opportunity in the distressed business. I think they're all, I mean, even when the market's great, I think like the wholesaling business and the short sale business, foreclosure business, I think anything distressed real estate related, there's always going to be a market for that. Because there's always going to be, deaths, divorces, and just unfortunate situations,
Ooh, you are preaching to the choir here this morning, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob, I've got a couple questions.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask you, I used to do a lot of short sales back between like 2002 and 2008. Back in the good old days when you could just pick up the phone, call the bank, say, hey, I'll give you X amount, and they'll say yes or no. And did really well with it. But the one thing that's changed now is that many of the lenders, but I don't think that it's all of the lenders, require that you have the property MLS listed in order to do a short sale. I've heard that some lenders will require at least 5 days on MLS, and I've also heard 30 days. So I'm not sure which one is correct. So I was wondering if you knew anything about that. And I also wanted to ask you, in terms of deficiency judgments, what percentage of the people that you end up doing a short sale for end up with a deficiency judgment? And if they get a deficiency judgment, do they also get a 1099-C, or is it one or the other?
Okay, so those are two good questions. First one, you're right. It used to be way easier to do it. Now, I mean, I have never seen a bank require 30 days. I think that's a lot. It's possible, because they could do whatever they want, whoever owns the note, but I've never seen it. I've seen 5, 10, and 15. To the second half of your question about the deficiency, most of them are issued a 1099-C. Yeah, and they're either issued it at closing or sometime, around tax season, the bank will just mail it to them. Does that answer your questions, or was I not specific enough about that?
I asked what percentage of the people that you do short sales for end up with a deficiency, and is it an either or situation? They either get a deficiency or a 1099, or do they get both?
They get both. You're going to get a 1099 either way.
Okay. Great.
Did I answer your MLS question, James, that you were asking?
Yeah, pretty much. I just wanted to know. I've heard that some lenders only require 5 days on MLS. I don't know. I think that there are also lenders out there, or lender programs from, I don't know if it's FHA or Fannie Mae or whatever, that don't require it to be MLS listed. But if you talk to somebody who has an FHA mortgage, can you just automatically assume that they're going to require 5 days on MLS?
So yeah, Fannie Mae and FHA are going to require it most of the time. Okay, because they want to make sure that, again, they're getting, because they're taking a loss, as they're getting the highest possible. Now, conventional loans is where that gets a little tricky, because typically whoever owns a conventional note, like the note investors, a lot of times they're just private note investors. They're like institutional guys. So really, they could write their own playbook. So like most of them are still going to want it listed. So then in their eyes, they're not getting fleeced. Like I would say, James, honestly, like 90 to 95% of the time, they're going to want to make sure it's on the MLS, or not even specifically on the MLS, but they want to see it listed with a professional agent who's an expert in that area.
Okay.
I'm amazed, like I'm almost flabbergasted that these homeowners get both a deficiency judgment and a 1099-C debt cancellation income tax thing, both at the same time. That seems like a double whammy there. Like maybe one would cancel out the other if they paid one off or something. I don't know. Like,
I'm not an expert either. Again, I know I said it before, but like there could be an accountant listening to this being like, no, wait, there's this way to get out of it. Again,
right.
Like I need to disclose that. I'm an expert in the short sale process, but involving credit, taxes, I know about it relating to a short sale, but I'm in no way an expert in that kind of stuff.
I understand, man.
I could be corrected in a lot of this stuff. There's no way I'm an expert in that stuff.
It's okay. It's okay. You're really dropping some knowledge on us here, man. I appreciate it. And some of these gold nuggets too. I'm much more clear. It was about as clear as mud for me before this call, and now it's getting more like I'm starting to see a little bit.
I got another question.
Yeah.
Just wondering. I heard you say that you guys paid from the end buyer, but do you guys charge the homeowner for your services?
That's another awesome question, man. Absolutely not. Now, there's a lot of service providers that do charge the homeowner. They charge them either on a monthly basis for their service. They'll charge them up front. They're entitled to run their business how they want. But I just, when I launched my company, I made a decision that I would never do that because to me, it's just not ethical. I'd rather do the right thing for them. They're in a tough spot financially. So
how are they going to get money anyway? How do they have money?
Exactly. Exactly. So even if they can muster it up, God knows how they're coming up with it. It's just, I don't know, man. Would I be able to create a more profitable business model? Maybe, but sometimes that's not always the most important thing, at least in my opinion.
Boom.
Awesome. Thank you. Another quick question, actually. How long is the average process take? Like if I told the homeowner and they asked me, well, how long could your friend do this? Or how long could your partner, do this? How long would it take?
Yeah, that's another good one because people use that as a sales pitch. And that's another thing I don't do. Now, the average time frame is 3 to 5 months or maybe 2 to 5. However, there's so many factors. Here's why that's an impossible. For anyone listening, if someone ever guarantees you that they could do a short sale in X amount of time, like an actual time frame, it's total BS. Because there's multiple factors that could affect that, even if you're the best at processing short sales. A couple examples. Let's say the seller isn't cooperative giving their financial documents. That's everything is based off how quick the seller could get you their financial package.
And they might not even know where that shit's at, right?
Yeah,
it might be like
Yeah. Tax returns, bank statements, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
There's that. There's multiple liens. Let's say there's multiple mortgages. Someone has a primary mortgage and a secondary. That alone is going to cause an extra step in the process, okay? Because the primary and the secondary get into their own negotiation period. You know what I'm saying? That stuff is unpredictable. So
I'm
sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say it's outside the realm of your direct control, some of these parts.
Correct. Our process, we do them way quicker than industry average. Like if you're talking about the industry average, you're talking nightmare situations. 6 months, 8 months, a year. They're nightmares. So that'll never happen under any circumstance with Universal. However, I just don't like to make promises like, oh yeah, I can get it done in X amount. It's like, look, it's probably going to be 2 to 5 months, depending on multiple factors and how responsive the seller is, the customer.
Awesome. Thank you.
Guys, if you're out there in the world listening on YouTube, Periscope, Facebook, what have you, welcome. Thank you. This is the Real Estate Wholesalers Club, realestatewholesalerclub.com. I have a guest here, Bob Vieira from Delray Beach, Florida, and where it's about the same weather as it is here today in Kansas City, it seems. And we're talking about pre-foreclosures. He is the founder and owner of Universal Short Sales LLC at universalshortsales.com. If you got questions, guys, please jump in the Zoom room at zoomjustin.com. zoomjustin.com. Come on in, interact with us, ask your questions. He's telling us how to partner up with him and get paid on some of these dead leads.
I'm listening.
Hey, Bob, I got a couple other questions. Do you do this in all 50 states?
Yes, we could process any state.
Okay. And how does the 500 appear on the HUD? Because I would think that the lender would not want to see $500 going to some guy in South Carolina who wants $500.
Great question, and you're 100% right. We sign a contract with you in the beginning, guaranteeing your payment from my company before you send us the lead or any information. And after that contract is signed, then you send us the lead. So that 500 comes directly from my company. On the contract, I say you'll get paid within 5 business days, but usually it's much quicker, especially if you have Venmo. We'll just Venmo you right after. But
is there a
Venmo's
different contract for? Sorry.
No, I was just saying Venmo's like Cash App or something like that. It's really good.
Yeah. I mean, really, completely up to you. I mean, we'll be happy to cut you the check. Totally up to you. But I mean, Venmo, you'll get paid like a minute after closing, literally.
Right. No,
Is there different?
I was more concerned as to what does it show on the HUD as far as that?
Yeah. No, 100%. So it doesn't show on the HUD at all. Sorry, I kind of went off on a tangent, but that was my point, that it's going to come directly from us. My company cut you the check. Sorry.
And is it a different contract every time, or is it once we partner up with you at first, is that one contract and then we can send you any lead?
Same exact contract, man. It's literally like a page long. I like to keep things super simple. Email me, like I said, I'll drop my email below in like Facebook and stuff, and then I'll even send you guys like a blank example of it just so you see what it looks like. Cool. And then I send it through DocuSign. It's already signed by me, so you just sign it and just shoot me the lead. That's it.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, good. Easy peasy. Easy, guys. No reason to not do that that I can think of. Somebody put in the chat, it'd be cool if you had some affiliate links or something that for deal submission. But, honestly, it sounds like that would just be just as easy as doing what you're asking us to do.
I'll be honest, whoever said that is 100% right, and I'm working on it. But it'll probably be 5 to 6 months from now, But
okay.
What it's going to be literally like a little form that you just go on my website, enter in the info, and it's like a link, just like that person said. So we just don't have it yet. Probably like I said, 5 to 6 months we'll have it, but the process is still super easy.
Guys, you know what I love about our club here is we get in on the ground floor on some really good shit, guys. Like you know what I mean? Like Michael Batista and Automated REI and Bob Vieira with short sales, universal short sales in all 50 states. Guys, I'm blown away by it myself.
Legit.
It is legit, man. Thank you, dude.
It's all because of you, Justin.
Oh, stop it now. Stop it.
Making him blush.
Just keep going. Just keep saying it. Well, what's some more questions you folks got out there in the world for Bob? I've learned a bunch today so far, and we've kept him here for about 40 minutes. We got 17. We had 18. I don't know. Somebody had to go, but we had 18 people here in the Zoom room. And then we have another, I think, a dozen or so watching on YouTube right now, and Periscope and other places too, in addition to that. So thank you all for listening and being a part. I'm going to take a look at the chat over here and make sure I'm not missing anything. I wanted to say,
shoot away. Any other questions?
Go for it.
No problem.
I got a question real quick.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Wouldn't it be easier to people referring homeowners to you to have an affiliate link? What do you think about that?
Damn affiliate link.
Sir?
No, 100% right. We just talked about that, and it's on the way.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be like a landing page format. You're going to be able to just go on the website, literally enter the info in. Contract's going to be there, and it's done. I'm working on it.
Yes, sir. That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Right now, it's still easy. I mean, you literally just let me know there's a lead and I send you the contract. Or it's even quicker. What a lot of wholesalers do, they don't even reach out to me. Like they'll just get the lead and then they keep a blank template of my contract. People that send me like a ton of wholesale deals.
Yes, sir.
They'll just keep a blank template and then they'll just send it over to me already signed by them.
There you go, Aiden.
So yeah,
Yes, sir.
they even streamline it themselves. But you guys are right. It's coming.
Yes, sir.
I
Thank you.
have another quick question. Can I just like give you guys a call while I'm on the phone with the homeowner and just do like a 3-way call and connect you guys?
Yeah, if that's what you want to do, that's cool. I can't like guarantee I'll answer. Like I can't like guarantee it, but yeah, like if you want to do that, that's that's cool if that's what you're comfortable with.
I just feel like if I send them any link or anything like that, they're just gonna sit on it and like think about doing it but not do it. You know what I mean?
So the best way to do it, and what most wholesalers do, is they'll say instead of just giving them my information, they'll say, okay, we're gonna have Bob reach out to you.
Great
And then
question.
They'll just tell them that Bob from Universal is gonna reach out to them, and then you just give me their information, after the referral agreement is signed.
Yeah, that sounds better because I feel like if I send information, they're just not gonna do it because they already obviously not did what they've been needing to do. That's why they got in that situation.
You're 100% right. So yeah, I mean that's what like 99% of the wholesalers do. Unless the customer, there's like sometimes people are weird about it. They're like, no, I'll call them. Like obviously you can't do anything there, but most of the time they'll be fine. Because they're motivated and they want to get out of the property.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Hey Bob, I just had a thought. Wouldn't it be cool if you had some affiliate links?
Let me write that down. That's a great point. Man.
I mean, wouldn't it be cool? I was just an idea. It popped in my head. I don't know where it came from, but
that's a great idea. Damn affiliate links.
So you get paid the $500 after Bob does the processing of the short sale and it's sold to an end buyer. The day that it's sold to the end buyer, you've earned $500 and it will be in your hands, in your care within 5 days.
After the closing, yeah.
Yeah. After the end buyer closes, that's when the 500 is fully earned, and then you'll release those funds to the wholesaler within 5 business days.
Either a check or a Venmo.
Boom. Hope that answers your question, Donald.
And do we get updates on the process?
Yes. No, we're super like we have systems for any updates, whether it's our actual short sale process, with the bank, with the seller. It is my goal that Universal Short Sales is literally the #1 company when it comes to communication. Because that's where the breakdown in short sales comes. Like anyone who's ever done a short sale could like tell you the major breakdown. There's a ton of shit that can go wrong, but the major breakdown, it all comes back to communication issues. So I'm super careful with that stuff. Like now, am I going to blow up your email every day? No, because I don't think you want to hear from me every day.
Right.
There's milestones. So there's 3 milestones that happen throughout the short sale process. Every time we hit one of those milestones, you'll get notified. And really quick, before anyone asks, there's also a system that we're working on. Give me a couple months. It's going to be automated. So instead of me manually emailing you, right, the updates, it's just going to be plugged in. The second we hit a milestone, you'll be automatically notified as the wholesaler. But again, there's only so many things I could do. It's still like a newer company. So just cut me some slack.
Does that part of it have affiliate links as well?
Sounds like the easiest $500 I'll ever make.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And like I said before, it's like not even looking at it from a deal by deal basis. Just think of it, over a year, because I'm sure it's your guys' goal to build sustainable businesses, right? You don't just want to make a business like
Absolutely.
You want to build a business. That's what Justin teaches you, I'm sure, how to actually build a business. So if you're looking at this referral program and partnership throughout the course of like a year, 2 years, then you're not just scraping up $500 here and there. You're actually creating a separate business. Like you're like creating like an additional revenue stream to your wholesale business.
Yeah.
That's when it gets like really powerful when you think about it like that.
Yeah, great. Hey, I got a question too. About the timing of everything. You were saying that a short sale can take anywhere between 2 and 4 months, sometimes 3 to 5.
Yeah.
So how does that work when you run into a homeowner that's 60 days away from the sale date, or you were talking about you did one time? It was kind of a miraculous maneuver to pull it off in 21 days.
Yep.
So does it delay the sale when this process gets underway? Is that how that works, or what?
That's another great question. You guys are asking really good questions. So yeah, that's exactly the point of it. So if you're within, let me back up. So the government has a law, right? And they enact with the banks that if the foreclosure auction date is set within 37 days, then they don't have to consider you for a traditional short sale. So if you have a foreclosure auction date and it's under 37 days, you got to move your ass to have any type of shot of getting it done. Now, in those cases, Justin, to answer your question directly, when you submit an offer, if the bank chooses to review that short sale offer, then that postpones the foreclosure date. So you're 100% right. And then what happens there, it's beautiful, because let's say the lender reviews it and they deny the offer. It's all good because you just helped the seller get that foreclosure date postponed, pushed back maybe 30 to 60 days. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Rick out of California. How you doing?
Hey, Rick. How are you?
Hey, good. I'm licensed as well. I was doing short sales probably from 06 to about 2012, and then I just got busy and was tired of the headache. But
okay,
I just want to run this by you to see if you're doing this or if this is even still available. Back in the day, as an agent, I would take the short sale and actually put the package together on what the lender's requirements were. But to kind of expedite it, I was having a third party investor actually give me a cash offer on the property as well. We kind of did our own broker's price opinion. So we were submitting the package and the cash offer from an investor at the same time to help speed up the process. Then, of course, we were putting, our negotiations fee and everything else on there, and then disclosing that it was going to be to basically flip it, put it back on the market. So that was all part of the package, and they were getting approved. So everybody was getting paid. The agent, me for negotiating it, the buyer, the LLC able to flip it. Are they still allowing that from what you're seeing? Because we were putting the package together to really start the process now, instead of waiting, putting it on the market, hoping that another agent will bring a buyer. We were just putting it together like right there on the spot. And as an investor, I was thinking about getting back into that by actually putting cash offers on these short sales to start the process right now instead of waiting. What's your take on that?
Yeah, you could definitely do that. So just to back up, that was like right after the crash, you were doing that, right?
Yeah, the last one I did that way was probably 2010, I guess, 2011.
Yeah, perfect. Right. So can you do that? Generally speaking, yes. There's two factors you have to pay attention for though, Rick, right? Because if you guys are quick flipping them, got to be very, very careful of deed restrictions, which I covered a little bit before. Lenders, they're starting to do it a little bit less. I see, at least with the transactions I do, but you're not going to be able to double close or get it and do a quick fix and flip because of those deed restrictions. So sometimes.
But that was on our. Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. That was part of our package. We were putting that down as a disclosure, saying, release of all tax liabilities, the ability to resell for profit. And it was part of the package that we were putting together with them. It was just a separate disclosure documents that we were adding to it, especially if it was like a friend of mine that was the LLC that was doing the cash purchase, because he was local and I'd be able to help him turn around and resell it back on the market as well. But do you think that's kind of crossing the line now, in a sense? Because the way we worked is we disclosed everything, so the bank could never come back and question it, like, oh, well, that's on page 7. We told you right there. Oh, well, that's on page 9. We told you right there.
Yeah.
But again, because I haven't done it that way in such a long time, I was just curious if you've done that, where you just laid it all out. Here's the package. Here's the deal. Here's what we want to do. Yes or no? Because, they have an offer in hand, the chances are they're going to take a serious look at it instead of, well,
Yeah.
let's just wait and put that on the market and hope we get a better offer. They may want to do something now.
Yeah, Rick, I could see that working with a conventional loan where the investor on the note is like an institution or maybe like a small investment group that buys loans, because they're kind of just like real estate investors and you can be creative. I think where you're going to run into issues is on like Fannie Mae or like FHA loans, like the government loans, because not that the terms in the contract don't matter, because they obviously do, but what really holds the most weight is the verbiage in that short sale approval letter. And typically, if the investor on the note is going to put a deed restriction on it, they're going to put one on despite what you put in the offer. Now, you might be teaching me something that I don't know. You might be teaching, you might be able to write in a clause in the contract, and maybe Fannie Mae or, Freddie Mac or something will honor that clause. I could say I've never seen it happen, but like I said, you could be teaching me something that I've never seen before. It's possible.
Well, again, a disclaimer though, I haven't done one of these in about 8 years, but every single.
That's why I asked you. That's why I asked if it was right near the crash, because it sounds like people were doing stuff like that, and that's why they got the bank started to clamp down after that. So like that's why I asked. But really quick too, the second factor, Rick, that you'll want to watch out for is the fact that a lot of the larger investors are going to have you require that it's listed with an agent. Not listed with an agent, but like posted on the MLS. So like you could get around that, but like you'll just probably have to like ice the property or like kind of like put it on there and like ignore all offers. You know what I'm saying? Like
we was back in that day, we were putting it on the MLS and then immediately marking it to pending.
Yeah. You'll have to do something like that. Just like whatever.
Right.
Let's say they like require it for like 5-10 days, whatever. Put it for the 10 days and then just do it to pending. Yeah, you'll be fine there. You can still do that.
And let me just ask you one more, because again, I don't mean to take up too much of your time. Going back in the day, we were submitting all of them with a hardship letter from the seller as well. We were having them physically write a hardship letter in pen and submitting that with the package, and that seemed to work out well. Are you still seeing that being effective at all?
Okay, a lot of people take that strategy you just said. Make sure they write it and sign it in pen. I'll be honest with you, my company's all about efficiency, and I type it out for them, and then I have them DocuSign it. So that's just what we do, and it works. Right now, it definitely makes sense because it seems like it's more authentic, I guess. But I mean, we're just all about pumping these things out and being efficient.
No, very cool, man. Very cool. No, I appreciate your time. Again, I know things and times have changed, and I've kind of geared away from short sales, but appreciate you being on the call today, man. I'll reach out to you.
Great talking to you. Great talking to you. Great questions.
You bet.
Leave it to Rick to take things to a whole other level. You're
funny, man.
I love you, Rick. You're awesome, man. Great questions. We've been here for almost an hour now. We got 2 minutes before the top of the hour. Got a great crowd everywhere. Any last questions here for Bob? I don't want to keep Bob all morning.
That's fine. I'm having fun.
Good, man. I'm glad you're here, man. Thank you so much. I love your spirit and your attitude and what you're doing. It's cool. It really is cool. It is helping people, and it is an opportunity for us as well. So everybody needs to check out universalshortsales.com. Is that right?
Yep.
Hey, Bob, I have a question.
Yeah.
I didn't hear you talk. Do you process short sales for the investors? Like we're all investors. Will you process the short sale for us so we can do the flip and resell the property, whatever the case may be?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, technically, we're going to sign the processing agreement with the customer, of course, because their authorization is needed. But yeah. Like if you have a short sale and you bring it to us, absolutely.
Okay. What's your fee to do that?
Mm-hmm. It's either a $4,000 flat fee on the lower end properties. And that's actually getting raised, but right now it's 4. And if you have something, I'll honor that. Even if we raise it, just remind me I said that. And then, or 3% of the purchase price.
Or 3%?
Yep. Either or.
Depending on the value of the property?
Yeah. Like we're in so many different markets, so like it's tough to systemize that. We're working on it and we're getting better. But right now it's either or.
Are you licensed, Stephen? Are you a licensed
Yeah,
agent?
yeah, I am licensed.
Okay, so you're asking questions that kind of come from that paradigm, right?
No, I'm an investor too. So I want to short sale the property and then resell it as the investor. But I can also be the agent too on the deal.
Stephen, if you're the agent, this is a whole nother thing, but if you're the agent and, and this obviously goes for any agents that are listening, our processing service is completely free to the real estate agent. So we have agents across the country bring us deals all the time. And, we do all the processing work for them, and you're just responsible for listing the property, and it doesn't cost you or the seller a dime. So just something to keep in mind.
I'm actually local to you. I live down the street in Boca.
Oh, get out of here. Let's grab coffee.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Where are you in Delray?
Depot Avenue, right off of Lake Ida.
Okay.
Yeah,
you're right down the street.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
We got to grab coffee now.
I'll look you up and track you down, and we'll get together.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Maybe I get a little shiny object syndrome, but I'm about to quit my job and just go work for Bob. Because I think I
have a job for you, John. I have a job for you. You could build me a landing page.
I'll do it, man. I'll do it. I can take care of that, and I can even put a little form on there if you want people to submit.
That's what I meant. The form. That's what I meant. Yeah, not the landing page. The form. That's what I meant.
I'm just giving you a hard time, man. I love you, Bob. You're a great guy. You feel like a kind of guy like I can do that with a little bit. Just have fun.
Yeah.
I got a question. I got another question.
Yeah.
Delray, Florida, isn't there?
Yep.
That's near Jacksonville or Miami.
Miami. We're like 4 hours from Jacksonville, about an hour from Miami.
Okay, I'm in Tampa, Florida.
Cool.
That's a good market.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
We got a bunch of people in Florida. Well, quite a number, and so that it must be the weather. What is it about Florida?
Florida is a good market in general, right, for short sales. The state of Florida.
What's that? I'm sorry, Aaron.
Florida is a good market for the state for short sales.
Florida is, Florida's in the top 5 foreclosure rates in the country. So speaking of Florida. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Especially Southern Florida specifically, like Miami, a lot of underwater properties. Jacksonville, lots are coming up in Duval County, which is Jacksonville. So Florida's big with it for sure.
That's great. Great. Any other questions, guys? Anything else? Anything else for our wonderful guest? So gracious.
I just want to say thank you, Bob, for your time, and learned a lot. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to sending you some leads.
Yeah, man, I'm happy to build in relationships with you guys. And any questions, like I said, you'll have all my contact info. Feel free to reach out, email, text, whatever.
I want to say thank you too. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah.
It was fun. I had a good time.
Yeah, Bob, you fit real well here at the Real Estate Wholesalers Club, and we're glad to have you a part of the family. Will you do me a favor and do like you have been and post on the Facebook group regularly so we can, if when we run across one of these, we can just go right there and click and find you or see what your latest updates are. Things like that. Will you stay in touch with us that way? And then also, I'm going to encourage everybody to go to your website at universalshortsales.com as well. But is there any other ways we can reach out to you?
Like I said, I'll drop my, info below. I'll give you my cell phone, email.
Great.
You have my website. I'll include that too. I have an Instagram handle for my business. Follow me on that. I post, what I try to do on Instagram actually is post helpful, like instead of just like, look at me, do business with me. I try to post helpful stuff that my followers, different kind of stats and things that I think will help investors and partners. So
that's great. Great opportunity.
So that's just at Universal Short Sales on Instagram. I do the same on LinkedIn. So I'll post all that stuff.
Yeah, that's great. And I'll add your contact information to the description on YouTube and all that. So you can check back later, guys, and watch this. Or if you're watching it for the first time, look in the description because I'll take care of you there. So be sure though, whatever you do, you don't forget, okay? Because that will be like forgetting $500. There are people out there, you are running into them. There's no reason not to pass some of these things along to somebody that can really do a professional job and get them done and get you paid. So yeah, short sale processing company, universalshortsales.com. Anything else? Last chance, guys. Anything else, guys?
Shoot away, fire away.
Going once.
When
Okay.
you say you're going to drop your contact information, where are you going to drop that?
I'll put it on Facebook, and then I think Justin's gonna put it on like YouTube and stuff. You guys will definitely have it. I'll put it like I'll make sure I put it in the comment section, and I'll comment in his group too.
Yeah. Check it out. He's already got a few posts in the group, in the Facebook group. So if you scroll down, you'll see Bob Vieira.
Yeah.
And he's got a little video he made for us in there too. But you guys didn't know him. Now you do. So follow his content a little bit when you find it there, because it's it's good stuff. It's good stuff. And
like I said, when you guys have my info, call me, text me, email me, just with general questions, even if it's not like about doing business. Like if you run across a lead or like whatever, just general short sale questions.
And can we have you back on the show again sometime in the near future? Yeah,
absolutely. I had a blast. I'd love to come back on, honestly.
Awesome. We love you, Bob. You're awesome. Man, I wanted to call you Bobby V. I don't know why. It just sounded cool.
Growing up, that's what all my friends called me. Everybody called me that stuff.
I love it, Bob. Hey, God bless you guys. Everybody have a great day. Don't forget to get busy and get that shut up money. We'll see you next week. We have Claude Diamond coming in next Saturday. He's going to blow our minds too. If you want to know how to convert sellers, boom, next week. Hey, Bob, thanks for being here. God bless everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. See you later. Have a good weekend.
Bye-bye.